everybody. Well, today seems to be a bit of a chaotic day for a lot of people. So the dragons are coming in to bring everybody back into a very relaxed sort of state. So the meditation today is not just to connect your energy to the dragons, but it's also going to be to help you bring yourself back, earth yourself back into what's going on. Hi, I'm Deep. So what we're going to do is basically go through the meditation, and then after that we'll have a little bit of chat about the dragons. But before we start, the energy is the dragons. It's not going to be physical dragons. Though some of you may be at a vibration that dragons do actually seem to be physically in the room with you, but on the whole dragons tend to interact with people on an energetic level. But as I say, if you're at the right vibration that they are physically in the room with you, then wonderful. So the other thing you have to remember is with dragons is that they are very high vibrational, and they also they're very strong at clearing your energy. So I've asked them all to calm down and not be so excited, because what will happen is they'll think you're okay, and then the next minute you're really off the chart. So so we're going to make sure that you're all nice and grounded before we start, and then we're going to go into the meditation. I'm just going to leave a little bit longer just in case anybody else wants to join, but it's being taped, so people who want to watch it later can watch it later. And I'm going to be doing a few, as I say, questions and answers later. So what I want you all to do is to just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Settle yourself in wherever you are, so you're nice and relaxed and comfortable. And I want you to see your heart energy start to expand very slowly until it's outside your body. I am Rinda. So expanding our heart energy so it's outside your body. And then we're going to send that energy straight up through the top of our heads till it connects to the highest form of light possible, and anchor it into that wonderful divine energy. And then we're going to bring that energy all the way down. Hi Patricia. Bring that energy all the way down into your heart energy. And then we're going to take that heart energy and drop it all the way down through the earth until you come to the multi-dimensional crystal of Gaia. And we're going to anchor ourselves in there. And then we're going to bring that energy up into our heart energy. And then we're going to bring the two energies so that they're up and down, mixing and mingling and expanding out until that pillar of light that you've created sits outside your aura. If you can't see your aura, don't worry, just set the intention, think, and it will be done. That the energy expands outside your aura. And now what we're going to do is I want you to see in front of you a garden gate, and I want you to step through that garden gate. And as you walk through it, you notice that you stepped into what looks like a forest, but with lots of spring flowers and a pathway right through the middle. I just want you to keep going along that pathway. And you may notice that there are elementals looking at you, whatever, fairies or leprechauns. Yes, I know you're here, or Flaherty. And just keep walking along that pathway until you come to a clearing. And in that clearing, you're going to find a big stone circle. This stone circle is like the really old stone circles, where the stones haven't even been shaped properly. They're just pillars of stone. And I want you to stand in front of a stone and just rest your back against it. Just feel the energy of that stone. Feel it change to a dragon energy. And then you realise that the stone is a dragon. And that dragon energy is now holding you against it, supporting you. And allow that energy to start to ground you even more, make you feel less chaotic, that your energy is settling and strong and supported. And now each of the dragons is going to blow through the top of your head. And feel that energy start to fill you all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers and toes. And this energy is going to blow away anything that doesn't serve you anymore on a physical or energetic level. You may see what looks like little dandelion seeds flying away from you. And they're going to be taken up by the elementals and placed somewhere where they can do some good, where they can grow positivity in the world. And then the dragon is going to blow flame through the top of your head. It might get a bit hot, so ask them, if it gets a bit too hot, ask them to calm it down, because as I said, they'll just get really excited and think that you're okay. So ask them to calm the flame down so that it's comfortable for you. And again, what they're doing this time is they're regenerating you. They're giving you gifts. They're giving you the things that you need at this time on a physical and energetic level. Gifts and blessings, healing, all this is coming from the dragon flame. And this time the elementals are going to help, and they're going to put little stars all over you. And they're going to put them in places that you need them to be. And these are the gifts that you deserve, not just what you've asked for. Because many of us don't ask enough. So these are the gifts you deserve that you've been not been accepting. So they're going to give them to you now in the form of little stars. And then the dragon's going to stop their flame. They're going to gently release your energy from them. And before they let you go, they're going to tell you their name so that you can call them again if you want to go through this exercise. Only you don't have to come all this way. They can come to you. Now that the dragon is released from the stone has disappeared. I want you to step away from that circle back onto the path. Start to walk along the path, noting the elementals, and the trees, and the flowers, until you get to that gate again. I want you to open the gate and step through it, back into the room where you are, and gently settle yourself back into your body. Deep breathing, breathe yourself back into your body, back into where you are, back totally grounded, totally present, eyes wide open. Just keep breathing and breathing until you're totally back. Okay, so once you're back, if anybody's got any questions about dragons, I'll answer them. But in general, as I said, dragons at this moment in time tend to be more energy. But if you are of a high enough vibration, you are, as we've just done, will physically interact with them so that you can actually feel them with you. Feel their presence, feel the physical energy of these beings. Because dragons are another part of the angelic realm. Though many people do not want to admit that, they are the what they would call the fire dragons are mentioned in biblical text, and they are angelic beings. The seraphim, I think it is, but don't quote me on it. Yes, dragons do have different roles depending on the colour of the dragon. It could be earth, air, fire or water with the elements. So as with all elements, air dragons will deal with anything to do with the weather and various things like that. The earth dragon will help with earth healing and, you know, helping to make things grow. The water dragon, again, can sometimes be to do with emotions, helping with emotions and helping with flow in life. And the fire is, as we've just experienced, to burn away anything that you don't need, and also to create new life by the intensity of taking away the old and creating the new. They also can be your guardians, because some people, rather than having angelic beings, have mythical beasts as their protectors. So it's just the same energy, it's just coming in a different form. So with people who are more in touch with nature, some of them will have dragons as their guardians, and also the helpers for the healing that they do, because the connection is easier for them than with the angelic realm. Because some people with the angels, they find them too fluffy. So even though we know they're not, but some people find them too fluffy because of the way they're portrayed in the media and by certain people. So they prefer the dragon energy, even though it's the same energy. The other thing about the dragons is that they do tend to be very forceful when you ask them to do something. So they won't ask you, have you changed your mind? If you ask them to do something, they will just do it. So you have to prepare yourself before you ask a dragon to do something, because as far as they're concerned, you've agreed to it, so I'm going to do it. So that's one of the things you have to take into account working with dragons. They are very sort of black and white in their thinking. You either want it or you don't. So when you ask for something, it's coming. Or if you ask them to do something, they're doing it. So you have to ensure that when you ask for their help, that you've thought good and hard before you've called them in to help you. Another thing is, when they are your protectors, is they can actually give you their scales to protect you, so that if you are worried about certain situations energetically or physically, you can ask the dragons to give you their scales to protect you, so that they can ensure that you're safe when you're doing any sort of energetic work, or even if you're just are going somewhere and you're a bit nervous, you can ask for dragon energy scales to cover you and protect you, and even make you disappear so people can't see you, because dragons are very good at that, being in plain sight, as you've seen with the stones, or some of them even change into cats and horses, so you don't realise that that's what they are. And the thing is that dragons, like cats and horses, if you follow the way that they think, is they choose you. So the dragons that you've met today have chosen you to work with. It's not you who have chosen to work with them. You've said, yes, I'll work with you, but they have chosen you as their person. So like cats and horses, if you notice with the Native Americans, they always say that the horse chooses them rather than they choose the horse. And so it is with cats, as many people who own cats know, the cat chooses you rather than you choose the cat. And that's another reason why you have to be very firm with dragons, is because, like cats, they think that they own you. So you have to ensure that they understand that you will only work with them when you decide to work with them, and it's not, they'll do it when they feel like, because otherwise they will be with you 24/7, having you do what they want, as a cat would. So has anybody got any other questions? No? Okay, so I'll just bring this to a close, and I'll say goodbye to you all for now. And but if you suddenly think of something, you can always message me. So as I say, if suddenly you hi Rose, so if suddenly, oh hang on, do we work with them? Let's have a look here. Right, oh, let me have a look what we got. I just missed. Same principle with dragons as with any sort of guide, is that it depends on what you're doing. So dragons can come in at a certain point in your life when you are doing earth healing, and then they may stay with you for the whole time, or the dragons may turn around and go, nope, I finished now, so we've done our bit, you can go back to doing whatever it is you were doing before. So it all depends on what your light worker mission is, or just your general work that you do. So that is what decides, have you agreed to work with the dragons for the whole of your life to do whatever you're going to do with them, or have you just decided for a short period of time? And the only way you can find that out is to talk to the dragon. Yes, dragons are just as numerous as the elementals and the angels, because they are basically, as I say, another form of earth angels. They are beings that are part of nature. They help to create the universe as part of the system. So it wasn't just the angels, but the dragons and the elementals who helped to create the universe as we know it. And if you want something changed, again, you can ask the dragons to help you to change its form or to make it a better way. But they always work for the highest good of all involved. So you can't ask for something that's really dramatic, that's going to cause a lot of trouble, because the dragons will just go, that's not for the highest good, that's just you wanting a weird swimming pool in the middle of your garden or something. So they will take that into account, even though you've asked them to do something. And they all have names, but the thing is that sometimes you can't pronounce them because they're very much sort of an animalistic sound. So they will give you a name that you can pronounce, or they'll ask you to name them. It depends on the sort of dragon, because I have a dragon called Idris, and that's because of Thomas the Tank, and he liked that name, so he said, yes, I'll have that name. So it all depends on their sense of humour as well, and they do have a sense of humour. So it's just a case of working with them and seeing how you get on with them. Yes, you can ask the dragons to stay with you and help clear your energy, but again, make sure it's at a time when it's appropriate for you, because otherwise they'll just sit there and just keep blasting you. So make sure when you ask them to clear your energy, it's at certain times that they're asking you to clear your energy, because as I say, they'll just sit there and go, and you'll just be absolutely blasted away, and you won't be able to get anything done. So as with all energy clearance, make sure that you do it as a fit-in, either before you start the session or at the end of the session, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Even ask them to clear the space that you're in, if you feel that their energy would be better to clear the space rather than you going through all of the stuff you normally do. If you haven't got a lot of time, you could just ask the dragon, can you clear the space for me? And then you can set up your space as the way you normally do. They can work very, very fast and on multiple dimensional levels if you really need the help because you're a bit stuck for time. But remember, they're very, very powerful beings, so when they clear it, it's like when you ask Lady Kali to clear a block in your pathway, it's going to be strong and it's going to be collapsing everything. So again, like I say, make sure that you've got your boundaries, make sure that you're asking specifically what you want rather than leaving it as a general thing, because otherwise they'll go with a general thing and then the next minute it'll be kaboom. Yeah. You can ask dragons to help other people. Yeah. I have a dragon that pops in now and again to check on me from my sister, and not everybody can see them, but you could do things like that. You could send a dragon, can you please go and check so and so is all right, and clear their house energy or clear their energy so that they've not been affected by whatever. Yes, you can do stuff like that. And depending on, there's one dragon that I tend to use for stuff like that, and it's called Queen Tiamat. She's a 5-headed dragon, queen of the dragons, and her 5 heads represent earth, air, fire, water and spirit. So if you do the Chinese, and certain other shamanic practices, the spirit is very important as well. And she does a lot of heavy duty space clearing. And she'll clear it on all levels. She'll clear it from objects, people, buildings, everything. So you can ask her to help with that. Dragons will clear negative energies, yes, very easily. As I say, any type of negative energy. they don't just clear your normal everyday stuff, they will clear the really heavy duty dark stuff if you ask them to. Hence Queen Tiamat is a very good one for that. But again, always make sure that once they've cleared it, ask them to replace it with a divine light, so that the space is filled, and that, you know, all your lovely clearing isn't for nothing and then something else fills the space. So always ask them to fill the space with divine light. When it comes to dragons, just ask, can you send me a dragon that's appropriate for that, like you do with the archangels. You know, you just say, when you ask for archangels, you say, you know, can the appropriate archangel come and help me? So you do the same with dragons. You just say, can a dragon energy that's appropriate to help me with, boom, and then that'll help. Because sometimes we get so mixed up with things and our heads are buzzing and we're thinking, oh, I'm sure I was supposed to use this one, I was sure it was, oh heck, which one do I use? Just ask a general question and the right one will come forward. Because that's especially if you're in a lot of negative energy, the negative energy will try and stop you from deciding who to call in. So best just to put a big call out and just say, whoever's appropriate, can you just come in and help me? And you may find out that Archangel Michael tags on the end anyway, because he does a lot of work with dragons anyway, if nobody knew that. But he works with a lot of people, so. So, any more questions before I pop off, as O'Flaherty would say? Okay then, my darlings, and I will post up when my next live meditation is. I'm hoping it'll be either Saturday or Sunday, but I will tell you and on what subject that will be. Bye for now, everybody. Bye bye.